Hello everyone, I am Nat1995 here in the video game fanfic plot. Sorry if you guys could hear my little brother yelling in the background. He doesn't know how to be quiet while I'm recording. And just a brief note, 63% of you guys have not subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you can, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and help me reach 400 subscribers. That'll be very appreciated. And now, on to the episodes.
Chapter 8, Papyrus. Flowey told you all about Undertale and how she murdered Tom and his family. At first, you couldn't believe it, but as he kept telling you the whole story, you understood. A week has passed since Undertale died. You have become almost best friends with Flowey. You decided that he could live in your house because if he went to his actual house, Sans and the others will kill him for calling the police. It was Saturday and it was a beautiful day, so you thought about hanging out with your other friends, Valentine, Napstablook and your new friend, Flowey. You told Flowey about hanging out, he accepted. Afterward, you called Valentine and asked her if she wanted to hang out, she accepted. Then you called Napstablook and asked him the same, he accepted and asked you if his cousin, Metadon, could also come. You accepted. You all arranged to meet in the park at 3 p.m., and it was 9:56 a.m. so you had a lot of time to prepare before the hangout. You decided to play video games with Flowey. Even though he didn't have arms, he won. You chuckled and said, "You are pretty good," and he responded, "I used to watch Sans play video games all day. I guess I learned something from him. And you added, "Yeah, and as you finished your sentence your mother called you for lunch. Before you went, you asked Flowey if he did want something to eat. No, thanks. He responded. And then you left your bedroom. While you were having lunch, Flowey was in your room, looking to the window. He was watching the street until suddenly he saw two familiar figures approaching. He immediately recognized them. They were Sans and Papyrus. Flowey immediately hid in his pot hoping that they won't notice him. Seconds passed and Flowey decided to take a look. He came out of his pot and looked to the window. Nothing. He thought that the skeletons were gone, so he decided to go to the kitchen and have something to eat. After you and Flowey finished having lunch, it was 2:47 p.m., so you decided to get going to the park. On the way to the park, you started to think about Napstablook's cousin. He is called Metadon. Metadon. I heard that name before. You thought. Suddenly you remembered something. That's right! Last week Sans told Papyrus a joke about him, and he didn't like it because it was about Metadon. So Papyrus hates Metadon? Before you could think a reason for that, you two reached the park and saw Valentine waving her hand at you with Napstablook and a robot. You recognized that robot. You remembered that you saw him one day in Napstablook's house. The robot seemed to recognize you too. You and Flowey approached them and said, "Hello," to them. They did the same. Then Napstablook said, "YN, this is my cousin Metadon. Metadon, he or she is my best friend YN." And then the robot, called Metadon, added, "Nice to meet you. Darling." And you, a little bit blushed, responded, "Same for me. Darling." And after hearing that, Metadon laughed. Then Valentine said, "Well, what are we going to do now?" And you suggested to go to the cinema. Everyone seemed okay with that. You walked to the cinema. When you reached it, you all decided to watch a comedy movie. You offered to watch a scary movie because you suddenly remembered that you also watched a comedy movie with your old friends. They accepted and then bought the tickets to the cinema. You went to the movie theater and after a few minutes, the movie started. The name of the movie was Scary Movie. You all thought it was going to be creepy, but when you started to watch it, you noticed that it wasn't creepy, it was a comedy. You all laughed a lot. When the movie finished it was 4:51 p.m. Napstablook suggested going to his house because he wanted to show you a new CD he made. You all accepted. In a few minutes, you reached his house, then you came in. Once you were all inside the house, Napstablook said, "Well, I'm going for the CD." and then he went to his room. After a few minutes, Napstablook shouted from his room, "Metaton, can you come here and help me find the CD? I forgot where I left it. And then Metaton shouted back, "I'm going, bloody." And he went to his cousin's room. At the moment that Metaton left the room, Valentine shouted, "Hey Blook, do you have something to eat? I'm famished. And then Napstablook shouted from his room, "Yes. There's a ghost sandwich in my fridge. And then Valentine responded, "Good enough for me. And she walked to the kitchen. After Valentine came in the kitchen, Flowey said, "I have to go to the bathroom. Excuse me. And then he rushed to the garden. Now you were completely alone. You sat on the sofa to wait for the others to come back. Some minutes passed and nobody came. Back. You decided to go to help Napstablook find his CD, but before you could stand up on the sofa, something hit the window that was behind the sofa. You turned back to see what was it, and when you saw what was it, you couldn't believe it. Sans and Papyrus were standing on the other side of the window. As they saw that you were alone in the room, they said, "If you were our guest. You will never be alone. And you, freaked out, answered, "What are you doing here? Get lost." And they responded, "We came here to rescue you." And you asked, "From what?" And they answered, "From the jerks of your friend." And suddenly you heard Metaton shout, "Papyrus," while he blushed.